שם מסכת מעשר שני דף ד' עמוד ב' נשמע דבר ממש חיים לזלגת חיים הרב יצחק הרייזר בסקובר פרושניים ברוסקי מיני בסחק עשר פרושניים היבוא מרושקי פרושניים מרושקי פרושניים נשמס מלך אדם יהודה נשמס חנה בס מנחם מנש הכהן אסתר בת היוצא. It's the mother of Yehuda Green. Sein Gesundheit stark. You mentioned, Rabbi said the other day on Friday, that the Shittas Harosh, Negea to Afrosh's Truma, Bechlal and Trumas Mai, and Chala. The Rosh says on the Halacha that you could be matvis on a dover, another, but not on a dover also. So the kasha is, the Mishnah says in the Dorim that Chalas Ahana and Trumosai is mutter. Why is Chalas Ahana and Trumosai is mutter? Because it's considered a dover or osa, and you can't be matvis on a dover osa. That's the cloud. Dr. Rosh, what do you mean it's a dover osa? It's Chayil Truma, it's a dover another. So the Rosh comes up with which is a very big chiddush, different than we understand how Truma always works. And he said that Truma is not like we understand. Truma is your mafresh, the Truma. And because you, the Truma is also, the Truma is not with your mafresh. Your mafresh is the shrine. The Truma is in the tavel that comes me'atzma. That's also menatoya, that comes by itself. The stami holds matamish loyumu, skimishumi dami. So that's Truma is by itself. What are you doing? Like the Rosh, you're mafresh the shirayim. That's what you're doing. And that shirayim, that's why it becomes mutter the shirayim, because you're taking away the shirayim from the Truma. Calls mind, you don't make that frosh the shirayim. Shirayim is mixed up with the Truma, and the father is also. But the Truma itself is a dover also, nishkan dover nodu. The male is not a dover sheish lematirim, even though many Rishonim mechulek on him, but that's what the Ran says, and in Dorim Daf Yud Beis. Toises seems to hold exactly like the Rosh. The Doa Kasha for the Bekivega. Sas Kosher. How could that be? Mishkachas, the Kodesh Shem Truma, you can see that there is such a thing as Truma without Shirayim, when there's no Shirayim. So if you see there's Truma without Shirayim, how could the Rosh say that Truma is Yimafish the Shirayim? You find Truma by Shiboilim. Lo Yehoya Osem Mishum Tevel. There's no Tevel there, because Shiboilim. The Shiboilim is before it's Hagia to, it's not Nigmar Malachta even yet. It's not Riz Pnei Abayis. Ubeferish Nesa Mishum Truma. And Mafish Shiboilim is also Mishum Truma. Where do we see that? How does the Jäger know this one? He knows it from a Mishnah. The Mishnah states in Sof Truma. We learned this Mishnah on both sides. But sometimes, it's Mr. B'Kiega. Look, there's an ein time in Dov Shlein Malachtai, Dov Shlein Malachtai, Dov Shlein Malachtai, Dov Shlein Malachtai, Shlein. Aber das steht, Dov Shlein Malachtai, Dov Shlein Malachtai. You tell him, Loy Nigmara. And Loy Nigmara, the din is ein time. You're not supposed to do it. V'im Tomu, Trumasa and Truma. What's called something which is not Nigmar Malachtai? Something not Nigmar Malachtai is something before it becomes before Meruach. It's like Nigmar Malachtai. What is that? There's no bigger case than that. That's Shiboilim. The Shaitach in the Mishnah, Befesh Mishnah, V'im Tomu, Truma Truma. You see the Truma is Chal, Afilu, on something which is Shiboilim. There's no Shirayim. In fact, how could Rosh say that the whole din of Truma is on the Shirayim? Doch nicht doch kein Shirayim. Wenn sie ist Truma, ist Truma. Kann doch nicht sein. Also fragt der Bekivege. So he goes with it on. Other pshatim there in the Gemara. It's not the guy that, but I want to bring out over here like this. So the Bekivege doing the Mishnah in Trumas and Truma, he brings the kashif in the Rash. Just want to be magdam, before you start to think about even answering Bekivega, it's kasha. No, shtickle Yochanan Boyes. Yochanan Boyes was it was a Bnei Doire from Kirega. How do I know he's Bnei Doire from Kirega? Because he writes on him Shlita. A Shlita from Shlita. So it's a Charaya, the Chivay Bnei Doire. And he writes here, he writes that he's coming to Fan for Kirega's Kasha. Risach kol gufay. Look, before I start to talk about the Kirega, to answer his Kasha, that's Bnei Doire. Yochanan Boyes is geschrieben auf ganz Shishes Middle. Das ist when I go in Oilem. And I've been Doire from Rabbi Kivega, he said, before I even start to talk about Tzitzim mit der ganze Guf. Eta sprach. Okay, so was sagt Rabbi Kivega do? Sat Merufel gesagt, right? He said that somebody even made a sefer for all Rabbi Kivega's kashas, except two. So those two he understood, he said he couldn't fan for. All right, Zikta do azoi. So fragt Rabbi Kivega, he's saying, he's quoting the Rash. Im Toima, medovish lo inig b'melachtei, I might remove the truma. Meishna mi mafresh chala kemach. If you take off chala is a chechet truma. All the din of truma is a chala. Chala is mina isa. You take off the chala mina kemach. That's dovish lo inig b'melachtei. It's not roy. It's not mina isa. And as I've often in Mishnah in the second page in chala, they ain't a chala. We can the Mishnah zogen do al dovish lo inig b'melachtei, al dovish lo inig b'melachtei is remove the truma. The Mishnah says by chala it's not chala. In fact, the Rash is asking this kasha on the Mishnah. Yeshlaim, and for the Rash, the Shani Hochi, the Rabbi Yikro, the Shina Mikro, the Ma'aser Rishon, the Gemara, famous Gemara in Lamed Hey Amid Beis and Psochim. If you mag them, you have to go first through Megadola, then Ma'aser Rishon, and so on and so forth. If you jump ahead with the Ma'aser Rishon before the Truma Gedola, the Ma'aser Rishon, you didn't buy them, the pot of Truma Gedola. It's pot of Truma Gedola. It's like the Rash, you know why the Chala? It's not Chal, the Chala is not Chal. If you mag them it, because by Shiboilim, you mag them Mishiboilim, you know why Shiboilim is Yochal, by Truma is Yochal, because there's a Ribi Akro. And that's why it's Chal. Loilim Be'etzem, the Truma would not be Chal. Why? Al Shaloi Nigma Lachta is not Chal, the Truma. If you went before the Nigma Malachta. The only reason by Truma, why it works, because you have a Ribi Akro. And Kivega brings this Rash over here in Trumas. So Kan Zaina boy say the way the Rosh will be here and listening to the Kivega's Kasha. How could the Rosh say that you make Truma has to be when there is Shiraim? If there's no Shiraim, there's no Truma. What's next to me Kasha? Then what? Shiboilim is a Ribi Akro. That's Andash. Because Andash the Truma for Shiboilim, the dot and the Ribi Akro that tells me that the Truma is Chal, but normal is the Truma only Chal when there is Shiraim. So this would be a Mahalach to say Pshat in the Rosh to for the Kiyegi's Kasha. So my Chavus is saying, he tied it no. He says Adirabba. He says from this passage.
And then Truma you can be matched network. That Truma has a shame of double another. If you're matched another the Truma that you have to be Shibal, that's considered double another.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, because there's no Shiraim. There's no Shiraim there, so that's not a double another. That's a double osa. But if it's a double another, you can be matched. A double osa, you can't be matched. So it tells us the Truma from Shiboilim, you mag them Shiboilim. Shiboilim there's no Shiraim. And the Truma, which is the normal Truma we have over there, where you do have Shiraim. The way you have Shiraim is going, the Truma is going to Shiraim. So that's why you can be matches. Hashem came, but I don't know that you can't. That would be, I said, this Mishnah that says over here in Pei Beis in the Dorim, Chalas Ahana Keturmosa is Mutter. That it's Mutter. So I said double another. So why is it Mutter? Because it's a double Osa. Why is it here a double Osa? Because it's here we're talking about, could be that you're talking about your Magdim Bishibodim. And that's where it's considered a double Osa. That's why you say it's Mutter, because it's not Chal. Ma'ashen came, we have Shiraim. So Rosh wants to say every Truma is the same. That's what Rosh is saying. It's always going on the Shiraim. You have Truma by Shibodim when there's no Shiraim. That's it. That's a Rebbe code. That's under. So those say Trumas. Da Truma versus double Osa, and Da Truma versus double another. When the Shiraim, bleibt es double Osa, because it goes on the Shiraim. But when there's no Shiraim, you have a Rebbe code, then bleibt es double another. That could be But he wanted to tie him a charusa all time. No, you see the pasuk. If you have a pasuk over here that tells me that you could make truma even though there's no shirayim, it's a chasimin. The truma is alamol adavar osa. It's not adavar another. That's what he wanted that time. Okay. Also no gold magnum zayim because we're learning all the sugas we learn and also tome de rosh. Let's negate to this rosh. Okay. Let's go back to the Gemara Dav Dalet. So the Gemara Dav Dalet, there's 3 mandomim here. This is very interesting because there's a big machlokes. What's the din if you mafresh? Is there a din hashavas aveda, hashavas exela on something which is pachas mishav puta? So be'etzem this is a Gemara in Bava Kama. It's an offer Gemara. The Gemara says, Boy Yerova, Daf Kuf Heimer Aleph, Boy Yerova, Gozer Shtei Agudas Bepruta, here's 2 Agudas, 2 bundles, and both of them together were worth 1 Pruta. Here's the Le'achas Mehem. I'm bimagding this Gemara because this is the Chay, the Machlekes that we have in the Yerushalmi over here. I didn't see anybody bring this, but this is the Machlekes that we have, a 3-way Machlekes over here, and here's the Gemara, and here's the blot right over here. If there's a din of a Shabbos Gneva, a Shabbos Gzela, on Davar Shein Shabbos Put or not. The fight is this an often a Gemara, and the Gemara here says, Boy Rova, if he stole Shtei Agudas Bepruta V'Hizdelei Achas Mem, now you only have left less than a Pruta. Miyamina Hashteleki Gzela. Now there's no Hashabbos Gzela. There's no the Shabbos Pruta has to be Shas Gzela or the B'Shas Hashabbos. Hoydilma Hoydoi Gzela the Habigabei. He had a Gzela was a Shabbat Pruta, and he still has it now here, even though now it's not a Shabbat Pruta, but you have to give it out. It's a message from Shas the Gzela. Hoda Pashtu, Gzela ain't kan, Hashav ain't kan. There's no Gzela, there's no Hashav. What do you mean? That there's a Gzela ain't kan, Hashav yesh kan. Even though there's no Gzela, because now it's less than a Shabbat Pruta, you don't give it back. You're not going to be over on Gzela, but you're not making the mitzvah of Hashav. Hachi kama afa pish Gzela ain't kan, mitzvah Hashav ain't kan. Look the name. Now it's not a Shabbat Pruta, you're not chayiv to give it back. Now, this Gemara is the Paskin the Rambam and Perek Aleph Halacha Vav Hilchos Zeder Vaveda, and there's a very interesting different Gesois here in the Rambam. The Rambam, we have it. We have the Rambam here. At least let's go with the Gisa Frankel Rambam. Hagoyz lepochas mishav Pruta, afa pi she'ova. He takes away, he gazels pochas mishav Pruta, afa pi she'ova. What does that mean? What it means is you over because it's Bachas Mishav Pruta, you still over the Issa, because Midei Shemayim, Todach Gaman and Bachas Mishav Pruta, but ain't the B'toyres Hashav Heshav Gzela. You don't have the mitzvah of Heshav Gzela. Why? Because this Gemara, the Gemara says, if not Hashav Pruta, there's still the din for Heshav Gzela. Zuk the Zog the Magen Mishnah, Zuhi Bayi B'Ifshit Shom, this is a Bayi in the Gemara, B'Zeh Loshin, Gzela Ein Kan, Mitzvah Hashav Ein Kan, no Gzela, there's no Hashav. Upirish, Shaloi Kayim, Mitzvah Hashav, B'Afa Pish Ein Kan Gzela, Chashuva, B'ma Shuhu, Ma'akav L'Atzmai, B'A L'Kayim, Mitzvah V'Eshu Gzela, Gaza HaKol, Shayn. So he's bothered by why is there no Mitzvah Hashav Gzela? You have something which is, so she used to say, Gzela is Sveizach, what do you need Gzela for? I sell mula mazik. Take away something from somebody else. It's the mazik. What do you need a mitzvah of Shabbos Gzela for? But the Gezuk Tazoi, the pshat is Heshik Gzela is a mitzvah saying the Torah Heshik Gzela. Als mazik is moine gaboch. Yenem's geld lik badid. I'll still give Yenem's geld. But besides that, there's no mitzvah for Heshik Gzela. So even though it's dinner for mazik, there's no dinner mazik less than a Shabbat Pruta. But the dinner for Heshik Gzela, those can sein. That's not totally in the dinner. Mazik, that could be dinam that you have to give back to Yanim Zach. That's so good. That's a Heshav Zexelis. So that doesn't mean necessarily if there's no din of Mazik on Shabbat Pruta that would be the same halacha by Heshav Zexelis. So the Kesed Mishnah says like this: Half a piece Zexelis Enkan Mitzvah Shabbat Enkan because of a Rosh. Half a piece Zexelis Enkan Bein Bezdin Koifin Ois LaHazik even they by Shabbat Pruta. ודאי אם לא ירזה אחס מדייתו אלא בציווי בזן, כויף ונויסה להז זה שנייה. He says, not toy זה בזה. Going up pachas mishav puta. Look, the aim bezin is galkan the pachas mishav puta. Even though bezin is not galkan the pachas mishav puta, aber mitzvah hashav ein kan umeatzmoi chayv lahazel the kayim mitzvah hashav. What does one have to do with the next? Bezin is not koifif on pachas mishav puta because it's not for the shal bezin to get involved in pachas mishav puta. Oh, but you have a mitzvah to give it back. Who says you have to give back pachas mishav puta? So it's an interesting machlokes here, but al there's two shittas how to learn here, the two gisois in this particular inyan. If there's a din of a Shabbos Aveda on a pachas mishav puta or not. Now let's learn our Gemara. No, come on, we'll learn the Gemara. I brought along the Chaim here to help us a little bit. Chaim, the Chamunah. Look the Gemara outside. You see that this is enough in the Gemara. This shaila, if there's a din of pachas mishav puta, it's not a din for Hashav, it's an ish. This is totally in the mandamim here in the Gemara. Rav Zira, 3 lines in the top. Rav Zira v'shem Rabbo b'mamel hagoyin if ma'aseh behema shel chaveiroi. You steal the ma'aseh behema shel chaveiroi. So nachama, what's ma'aseh behema? Ma'aseh behema is a korban, but the bosa belongs to the bailam. Once you make the shchita, after the shchita, the bosa belongs to the bailam. So there's a mixture of Mammon Gavoya, if you hold like Rameya or you hold like a Buddha, which is Mammon Hejitu, but there's also a part of this behemoth belongs to the Bailam. All the other things that are not the Bosset, the Kenayim, the Tlofim, the Atzamas, it also belongs to the Bailam. So there's part of it belongs to him. So Ed Gegavit, Maise Behemoth Shachavela. Im Hoya Kayim, if the behemoth is here, Mazira Loi Behenoi. Why not? It's a Shabbos Aveda. That's the game. A Shabbos Gzela. That's the game. Behinoi. Behishu Ken Shagozel. Ochloi Masha Ochel. If he ate it, it's Masha Ochel, and it doesn't have to pay. What's that finish Batzum? There's no Heishiv Gzela. And why don't you have to pay now? What's the problem? So the Pnei Moshe is like Ochle Masha Ochel. The Pnei Moshe Lo Yishalem et Tunish Batzum. Why aren't you allowed to pay? That's not the halacha, because if you're going to pay nida kemecha, you're paying back money. It's ma'aser sheni. It's ma'aser behema. Ma'aser behema is the same thing like ma'aser sheni. Hey moichin, you're not allowed to sell it. You stole it, and now you're going to pay back money. So it looks like a mechira. You took away from him the ma'aser behema, and now you're giving money for it. So it's a mechira, and that you're not allowed to do. So mele is eino misham. Even though it's choyte niska, you stole something, and the Torah doesn't allow you to make a mechira. So you don't have to pay back the money. The choy is choyte niska. Afa biken, it is also. Not excited. That's the din. Oh, but be'eno daf mogem for us. Be'eno, you're not paying any money. Be'eno is a heishuv excited. Daf mogem. Oh, masha ochel because that's tashlumen. Tashlumen is an itzif in eimorchen. Rebloze b'shem Ramona. Ein oimen lo yishiyitein. Ein oimen lo yishiyitein. What does that mean? Ein oimen lo yishiyitein. That's on the domen. He's not going on the etzim zach alone. If he has the zach, it's kayim. But he's talking about the moment of Shabbat. Now you have moment Shabbat. Is Masha Ochel Ochel. So Blazer says, B'Shem Amona, Ein Oimim Lo Yishiyitein. You don't tell him to pay. Why not? Domim Zok T'Pnei Moshe, Masha Ochel, D'Loi Lehevi Kimecha. It shouldn't be like a Mecha. Avo, the chilik is, he's Mechulak on the B'Zira. The B'Zira says, it's not allowed to pay. And he says, we don't tell him to pay. Avo, Im Nosem, Mi'atzme HaDomim, Mutter ze lekable mimena. It's mutter to take it from him, but they said that it's not exactly a mecha, so he doesn't paskin that this is din of a mecha, and it's like meken yobatzum. We don't tell him to pay. So what's the chilik? We don't tell him to pay. It could be. It looks like a mecha, so we don't tell him to do it. But if he does it, it's not be'etzem mecha, so that's why it's mutter. But what's tutzich with the tashlumim? What's going on here with the tashlumim? There's no mitzvah of Shabbos and Zayda. It's not the end. What's the dinim in Tashlumim? What happens to the dinim of Tashlumim? The Gemara says now on the blows the malto oipoches mishav pruta was a matbeya that was less than a shav pruta, or was etzim the whole thing was less than a shav pruta, which he's told this geneva. Ein oimim loy shiyiten. Ein oimim loy shiyiten. What's say ein oimim loy shiyiten? Zog the Pnei Moshe, a Geneva be'alma koya. And a regular Geneva. Looks like it's not even a Ma'aser Behema. It's not a Geneva. I did the Kama Begoin, Ma'aser Behema, ain't no Imelo Shi'itain. Because it's an Issa, no Kanami Lo Hocha, Shim Gona Behema V'cholsa. He stole a Behema, and then it was, became sick. So it's less than a Shava Pruta. Shoyes L'choyla Shehi ain't a Shava Ela Poch M'Shava Pruta. Ain't no Imelo Shi'itain. Because the father of Kanina, Havi Yehi da Aise B'Shein L'Shava Pruta Mikor. Avam hoyse b'shas genei b'shava pruta oimen lo yishal. Afa b'shas shav hukshe ve'ene shava pruta. Za'acha shas genei v'holchem. We go boss b'shas genei. Dort mal weiter. Aber b'chenina hadod the tema. B'sheni yofa pruta mi'ikora. It wasn't a shava pruta mi'ikora. Avam hoye yofa shava pruta mi'ikora oimen lo yishiten. We tell him he has to pay. Look the prime azay. Time holds like this. Im hoye kaya mazir loy beinoy. This is a bzira for us. The shloihu. The day, it's not yours. It's Ma'aser Behema. The day zach the Torah akrivoy. The Torah gives you the schus. It's your behema, and you're the bala behema, and you're the bala kom. So you bring it, so it's yours. Well, acha b'sodei. That's why what? That's why you have to give it back. It's yours. You have to be misham heishiv v'segzela. Ochle ma'asher ochel ochel. Why don't you have to pay? Moment. If you have the din of Heshiv Zegzela, why don't you have the halacha of what? Of Tashlum? The Gemara says in the Baba Kama that it goes together. If you have a din of Heshiv, you have a din of Tashlum. That you don't have, forget, you have the din of Heshiv and you don't have a din of Tashlum. The Kivin Yafin Mikra Dein in Imka, Amul Avdidehu. When it comes to the din of Tashlumim, there's an Issa Mechira, so you see Ein Moichen is a raya lavdidehu. Even though we say that if it's ben, you have to give it back. But if it's not ben, then all of a sudden the time is over here lavdidehu. Let's be schiyah begabo. And Meshuchim Gavoya Zachuloi. He's passing over here like the mayor, and he holds Meshuchim Gavoya. Hilkuch loy boyi hashavu. We're talking about him hashavah. He's calling this hashavah. It's not hashavah. Now you have dinim from tashlumim. So it's a telza. Be'ashas when the zach is ben, the din for mitzvah hashavah. So we say it's his, and he's the balakob, and he keeps the bossa, so he has to give it back. Ma'asha Enken, once it's not here anymore, there's no dinim from tashlumim. So now he says all of a sudden there's no dinim from tashlumim because mom gavayu, and now he says you put it in ganzen ma'asha achalocha, you put it in tashlumim. He's holding here that what pachim shavuot, you don't have to pay. How did this tell the from Shabbos Agzela? On a Shabbos Agzela, he's saying that it is yours and you have to give it back because it wouldn't be a Shabbos Pruta, there shouldn't be any Shabbos Agzela either. So he says there it's yours. When it comes to the achila, if you ate it and it's not here, it's not ben, it's dina for tashlum. All of a sudden he says, all of a sudden no, this is mama gavaya and it's shaloi, and you put them in tashlum. What's the pshat? But that's in a blazer, in a bzira. In a blazer he says, "Ein oimin lo shiitin." He says, "Ein oimin lo shiitin." Now who's the oimin? The bezdin. Ein bezdin oimin lo yeshivay. Afilu hu bien. He's learning pshat in a blazer. That even if it's bien, because I learned pshat, push pshat, sheyitain, that's going on the moment. Heishiv is not yitain. Heishiv is the heishiv. Like Zina says, a guy to Ma'aser Behema shechabedim v'hoye kain marzina loy. That's not the yitain loy. It's marzina loy. You give back the zar. And now the next mandama, which is the blazer, ain't no mishayitain. The Chayz is talking about the tashlumin. Chaim's not learning like that. Ain't loy mashiyitin, ain't bezn, ain't loy leheshiv on the heshiv segzela afilu hu bien, even if it's bien. Why? Even the lab memoyed the dehu ain't tzorch lashiva. Somebody steals something which is not his. Meaning, what do you mean it's not his? He has the bossa. He has a chelik of the zak belongs to him. Yeah, he has the moment shaboy. He has the atzomas. He has the gidim. He has the tov. All these things belong to him. Nonetheless, he says ain't tzorch lashiva. As I looked at it, and then he says like this. And if it was a pochas b'shavah pruta, hagoyzel, that's a new case. Goyz the pochas b'shavah pruta. Shein a choshev moment. Ein noimim loy. These are all the words of Chaim. Ein noimim loy shiitin. Afilu hu bien. Why not? I said heishav zigzela. What's my nafkamina? Yo shavah pruta, not a shavah pruta. It's a heishav zigzela. Shein a choshev moment. V'les beim mishum heishav zigzela. I forgot the shaloyu, like the Gemara says in I go to the Eitzim, Ke'echad Amaisa Behema, Ein Yisochel Azidoi, Afilu Be'en, Kivin Lava Moin Dedehu, Ken I say moment, it's not his moment, it's a moment Gavoya, so Mela, you're part of Tashlum. I can put him, but I just want to bring out this whole Tumla Rai over here with the Gemara and I go to the Eitzim, and the big Rambam over here with the two Gisoyes, nobody mentions over here so often Yishamri. So these Dinim are totally in the Mandam here and in the Gemara in this Yishamri. This Kanzain, this is something which is a Davar Chiddush that we learn this Sugya and you come back over here, you see that's totally in these Mandam. If you look here a minute in the Goyin, how the Goyin understands it, he says here, Masha Ochel Ochel, and this is Honorable Zeira, She'ein Tzarech L'Shalom Loi, Favos, Shlo Hizik Loi Kulum, She'ein Rishoyu Limko. It's not a Hizik. What does this mean? You take something which is a Ma'aseh Behema, right? You don't have to pay. Shlo Hizik Loi Kulum, She'ein Rishoyu Limko. But you can't sell it, so you won't mazik him. What's meant? Somebody said, what do you mean? I was mazik him. I can't sell it because Ma'aseh Behema, but that doesn't mean I wasn't mazik him. What's up? If you don't have a way of selling it, you get. I don't understand what he's talking about it. If there's no din of tashlumim, if there's no din of mechiras, it is nishka moment. That's what he means. There's no moment here. If there's no moment, I'm not mazing him anything. You have him. I don't know what one has to do with the other. Hazik is a hazik. Sure, you can't sell it because din of bezin, as din of hektish, hazik is there's a limitation. You can't sell it. If you don't have a oh, he's saying like this because we always know the din of Yotzei Shemayim. You have to be kaim it. You have to give it back. You have to take care of it. Bezin can't force you because Bezin ain't skokum. Shakaponim nehanim b'shachaveira. Pachim Shavuot doesn't matter. Milsa Omra hach din be asmei mitzina gam came begoiz the Pachim Shavuot. Shedina shein tzarech l'shalem. Min adin chen kan hach ma'aseh behema shegonav have a Pachim Shavuot. Galal kain ain't tzarech l'shalem. Why is it Pachim Shavuot? Because you have no dinim of mechira, even though the ma'aseh, the behem itself has moment. The bossa is worth a lot of money. All the tlofim and the summers, all this is worth a lot of money. But for some reason, he calls the moment gavaya. Moment gavaya means that all of a sudden it's moment gavaya. It's mufka for 9 geld. The mufka for 9 geld is ein tzarech l'shalom. So I can put this shaila back and forth. The Gis is the Rambam. It's all on pinning on this yisham. I get to talk about it.